You mind recording that for us?
Yep, it's going.
Okay, cool. Thank you. I don't know why that happened. That was very strange. All right. So, welcome everybody, and welcome to the Man Cave. This call is getting, bigger and bigger. We've had some incredible weeks over the past couple weeks, and if you weren't able to be here, I highly recommend you watch the videos from James Eviden and Adam Westwick. And anybody that was here last week will tell you Adam Westwick really hit it home for guys. And he's a guy who started in this business. He brought his wife into the business, similar to how I've done it. And it's pretty. He has a pretty cool story, and he just gives lots of good advice around the business and how to go after it. So I'll be your host for the next 20 minutes or so. My name is Todd Mell. I'm a national marketing director with the Juice Plus Company. I have been here for 10 years and been using the product for 10 years. So you're on this Zoom because you or maybe your spouse are new to Juice Plus community, or you have some questions, or maybe you've just been involved for a while and you're just looking for a more male-focused group to interact with. Perhaps you're just checking it all out because someone told you about it and referred you here. Either way, you're in the right place. So let's dive right in. And we have a script on this, by the way, that we like to use so that it's the same every time, because repetition is how we get better at this. So I'll start by giving you a brief overview of how this all works and the company in general. So the business is open to anyone 18 years or older. It's called the virtual franchise, the Juice Plus virtual franchise. It's $50 per year to own. You're given an online office, a personal back office website. This allows you to run the business from any device, anytime, anywhere. So you earn residual income by simply sharing our products by word of mouth, and the company does the rest. They manufacture it, they deliver it, they bill, they collect from our customers and pay us in a direct deposit monthly to do so, and our team. So there's no inventory to keep. The only product we have is the product we use at our home. So whether that's, like the capsules, the shake, and I'll go through all that a little bit later of what all the product range is. So by word of mouth, we share it by word of mouth. The company does the rest. There is no inventory to keep. All commission levels when you earn one are permanent. There's no quotas or minimums. The freedom to really choose your individual pace. And I think that's kind of cool because most companies out there, I think, typically try and force you or pigeonhole you into this plan or that plan or whatever. So there's no glass ceiling on our income or territory restrictions. And the Juice Plus company is in over 20 countries. It's pretty broad. Formed nearly 50 years ago by President and founder Jay Martin, who's still at the helm today. We are a privately held, debt-free, multi-billion-dollar company. And the cool thing is when you make the top positions in the company, you can earn a family benefits package, including medical, dental, disability, life, long-term care, chiropractic, prescription, along with college assistance, holiday bonus, and a monthly expense allowance. Now, having been a part of this company for 10 years and at the national marketing director level, which is the top position in the company, I get all that. And it's pretty amazing that a company allows us to do that for $50 a year. So the business can produce short-term cash or be a long-term wealth building and retirement strategy. So that's it in a nutshell. It's really simple. So now I'm going to hand it off to our first speaker. TK, you'll be second, okay? Do I need to unmute you? You can unmute yourself.
I think I got it. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Thanks, Joey.
Awesome. All right, no problem. Thank you, Todd. I just wanted to say thanks for putting this on. I absolutely love this community. This is the coolest community I've ever been in, especially for business. And once again, I wanted to thank everyone for hopping on here. I'd like to try to keep it short tonight. And I know I want to respect everybody's time here tonight and really just share my story about kind of my past and present and how I'm so excited about the future with this company. And, really start off, I feel like I had kind of a, normal path in society where we're all told to go to school, get a job. And, that was my exact path. And we all have those big dreams, aspirations when we're a lot younger, to be an astronaut or do something really crazy and awesome in the world and to impact the world in a great way. And, I had those dreams, but as I got older and, you know, went through the paces of graduating, getting a degree, going into work, I started with a corporate company right out of college, doing IT work. And this is what I got my degree in. And I took it because it was that first step for me. It was that first thing to get into the real world, start grinding it out, and, you know, make a life for myself. And as I got onto this path and worked there for about 5 years, I started thinking about my future and how important it is. Because when I initially started off, you know, I was getting a great paycheck, great salary, had benefits with this corporate job, but to be honest, I just was not loving my lifestyle. It was, you know, Monday through Friday, go to work, and over time, it really became something that I wasn't excited to really go into. It really just became something that I was going to just to receive this paycheck. And it really kind of occurred to me that, you know, I really need to start thinking about the future, because, you know, I'm 31 now. This is back when I was in, you know, my later 20s, and I'm thinking I want to have kids, do all this stuff, but I don't want to live an average life. And at the time I was making an average salary, right? And it became, you know, into about that 5 years, I decided I wanted to go off and do my own thing. I really got into health and nutrition, and I decided to just open up my own traditional business, selling my own handcrafted nutritional bars and coffee, because I'm a coffee freak and I love sharing that with other people. So I did this, and I got my hands nice and dirty with traditional business and really got that experience. And it blew my mind, and I got so excited about it because I realized, wow, I'm steering my own ship. This is the greatest feeling. And I can tell you, for anyone who's ever tried that, to open up your own business, it's an exhilarating thing. But as time went on, I realized with traditional business, there became so many headaches involved with running my business. Once it started to grow, you know, I started having to hire more and more people. I started turning into a manager. I didn't necessarily want to have to manage a bunch of people. And then expenses, costs, all the things that go in involving a traditional business. And, you know, I loved being in control of my own path. It was so exciting. But I realized the more and more I got into it, I was kind of tying myself to the city that I was living in, because I was doing a traditional business. And I really was working a whole bunch, and I couldn't travel a lot. Me and my fiance love to travel. And I realized this is kind of impeding on my lifestyle. Sure, it's great to grow a business. And that's when I really kind of came open to this other business that we have here. And this was a completely different concept to me. Once I learned more about it, to be honest, I was very skeptical. My dad has actually been in this business for a very long time. But it's one of those things when you're a kid to kind of resist sometimes what your parents say or encourage you to do. Sometimes you go against the grain, and I definitely did that. But once I took a further look into this business and realizing that it's a virtual franchise, it's kind of your own agency where you can take it where you want and at your own pace. I absolutely fell in love with it. And what really turned me over to this is when I started to meet a lot of the people that are in this business. It really blew my mind on how supportive this community is. Where in the corporate world I was in before, very cutthroat. Everyone was after a certain position, and, you know, all chasing the same thing. We had to bump each other out to lock in that position. So with this business over here, like I said, I'm excited about, because it's a completely different concept, and we're all here to really support each other, and that's why I'm so excited about it. So, you know, I can go on and on about it, how I love this business so much in the community, and the fact that we're doing things like this. We're meeting up with like-minded guys, and absolutely love it. But I want to turn it back over to Todd, see if you got any questions, or if you wanted to roll it over to the next guy.
Thank you, Joey. I appreciate you sharing. It's great to hear everybody's story, because, you know, we all have our own stories, but I think it's wonderful to hear all these different stories, because those are like tools in our toolbox, right? I can't tell you how many situations I have where I share someone else's story as a friend of mine in this business, like Jaron or Jesse Elmore, or things about things like that. And so I think it's powerful. The more stories we hear, the more empowered we get. And so with that, I'd like to bring on TK, who married into this business, but I'll let him tell you about it.
I did. Yeah. Thanks, Todd, so much. Thank you for hosting the event tonight. This is actually my first time hopping on this Zoom. I actually did not even know about this group until the Pajama Regional that happened this past weekend. It was mentioned there, and I've known Jaron for a while and have had several conversations over the years with him. So I'm super excited that that this group exists, both online here in the Zoom meetings and then also on Facebook. Because to your point earlier, Todd, there's just a lot of opportunity, I think, here for men in this business. It's dominated primarily by women, but I think there's a tremendous amount of opportunity for men as well. So as Todd had mentioned, I came into this business maybe in a different way. I married into it. And to give you some background on my sort of business story, so I've been a traditional entrepreneur for, gosh, probably 23, 24 years now. And currently I own a technology company. We're based in Indiana here. We have about 90 employees. And I also co-own 3 trampoline parks. Indoor trampoline parks called Sky Zone. And so I'm involved in a franchise with my Sky Zone franchises. And across those 3 trampoline parks, we probably have, I don't even know, probably 250 to 300 employees in those parks. So I come from a very heavy traditional entrepreneurship, traditional business background. So when I married my wife 4.5 years ago, she was about 6 years into this business, was a national marketing director. And I have to say that I came into this business with a squinty eye. You know, Joey had mentioned he had a bit of a squinty eye as well. And I joked today that I had a squinty eye and I was only skeptical of 3 things. 1, the company, 2, the product, and 3, the business model. I'm not sure how much more skeptical you could get around that. But, you know, today I can sit here today and tell you that I'm obviously a raving fan of the product, both my personal story and then just first-person stories I've heard over and over and over again of how it's helped people with their health and the health picture of their family. It's truly, truly amazing to be a part of something like that. The fact that it's backed by science and research is super important to me. From the company side of things, you know, I pride myself in my, especially my technology business. That's where I focus my day-to-day efforts. We have just an outstanding culture, and I'm very, very proud of the culture that we built at my company. And it was the first conference that I had gone to with my wife about 4 years ago. And honestly, I expected rah-rah kind of MLM sort of stuff at the conference. And I went there and was completely blown away. It was not at all what I expected. It was just genuine people sharing stories from the heart, great talks from the stage, very motivational information. And everybody that I met at that conference, I'm fortunate through my wife to have had several one-on-one conversations with the founder of the company, with the CEO, with the COO, and other executives. And everybody from the corporate level on down to people that I had met that were distributors that just started a month prior to the conference. I leaned over at one point halfway through the conference to my wife and I said, you know, honestly, every single person I've met is literally somebody I want to hang out with. And to me, that says a whole lot about the kind of people that are involved in this business and the community that's behind it. You know, I listen to my wife. She does a lot of trainings for not only for her team, but other teams around the country and the world. And she talks a lot about the community, and I can't stress that enough. It truly is just an absolutely fantastic and dynamic community. And then when it comes to the business model, again, I was very skeptical there. And I think, you know, I had a bad taste in my mouth around direct sales that I can go back to one particular instance when I was fresh out of college. Just had a bad experience, I'll say that. And so I had a very squinty eye around the whole business model. But as I started digging into it, started looking at it, it was really eye-opening to me because honestly, today I'll sit here and I openly say that my wife, having started this business 10 years ago and built it to where she has it, is smarter than I am. In the sense that, you know, I look at my business. So for example, I'm a traditional entrepreneur and I've got a fair number of employees. If I don't go into work, you know, tomorrow or the next day, it's not a huge deal. We've got people that do different things, but I still have to be there, right? And so So people would look at me from the outside and think that I have a lot of freedom, but the truth be told, my wife is the one that has the freedom, because this is her office right here, her phone. And honestly, I'm very, very jealous of that. So I see what she's built, and I start looking into it more and more, and I think, oh my gosh, this is really interesting. One of the things that a lot of people think of, or they hear about when you talk about direct sales, is that, oh, it's a pyramid. It's one of those things where the guy at the top makes the money. And as I started thinking about it, the truth be told, my traditional businesses, that's actually a pyramid, right? So in my traditional business, I'm the president and CEO. And so for one of my sales guys or one of our software developers or a project manager to ever have my role, one of three things has to happen. I have to die, I have to quit, or I have to get fired. Well, no one's going to fire me, and I'm not going to quit, and I sure as heck hope I don't die, right? And so for somebody to have my position in my company, it's virtually impossible. Now, what's interesting about the Juice Plus business is you take that pyramid and you flip it upside down. Because if you want the position that Todd has, that I'm working towards right now, I'm a QNMD, he's an NMD, or the position that my wife has, there's as much room at the top for as many people as want to work for that position. You just have to work for it. And this is the kind of business that, just like anything else, if you treat it like a hobby, it will pay you like a hobby. If you treat it like a business, it will pay you like a business. And I can't say enough good things, again, just around the whole business model. The way that the company has combined together basically the best of entrepreneurship, the best of corporate position, the best of franchising, and the best of direct sales into one business model is truly, truly unique in the direct sales world. The fact that I think Todd had mentioned that if you become a national marketing director, you actually get full benefits. So you're not an employee of the company, but yet you get a corporate benefits package and you get bonuses. And there's different things like that make it very, very unique. And I will tell you that today, long-term wise for me, this is my retirement job. This is something that I intend to do with my wife long after, hopefully, I've sold my other businesses and gotten out of those. Because number one, I get a lot of satisfaction out of helping people with their health. There's two things that everybody could use more of: more health or better health, and more wealth. And I also get a tremendous amount of soul-filling joy, if you want to call it that, out of helping other people reach their goals and see them reach their goals. For example, there's a gal on our team that just a couple of weeks ago, she was a teacher, and she had her second baby, and she's got a 3-year-old home and a newborn. And she just went in and she quit her job because her Juice Plus income has not gotten enough to match her teacher's salary, but it got to be enough where they could afford for her to stay home and not feel the pinch. And I looked at my wife when she told us that she was quitting her job, and I'm like, oh my gosh, think about that. We helped change not only her life, right? So now she gets to spend the next 18 years with her kids at home, right, while working her Juice Plus business. But we also changed the direction of those kids' lives because they have their mom at home full time with them, and the caregivers that were watching the kids were the parents, were the grandparents of the children, the little kids. And so those grandparents now don't feel an obligation that they have to watch the kid. Now they get to enjoy them just for grandkids. And so to me, I was like, holy cow, that's amazing that we have such a gift like this that we could give to people, not just from a health perspective, because we probably all know the benefits of fruits and vegetables in our diet, and we can talk about that for hours, but also the benefit of helping people from the wealth perspective and the money side and actually build a business. And being able to create a business like this as opposed to a traditional franchise. And that's one thing I love about the business too. I'll say this last thing and I'll quiet down. But for example, I eat Subway a lot for lunch, right? And I have zero desire to ever own a Subway franchise, and I can continue to be a customer of Subway for the rest of my life. That's what I love about the Juice Plus business, is that like 90 or 85 or 90% of the people that buy the product that become customers are just customers. There's no pressure for them to actually become a distributor and sell the product. That's one way that this business is very, very different. And I like that because, again, it takes some of that stigma out of this direct sales business that we're in. So to me, it's super fulfilling to be able to offer this from a health perspective and a wealth perspective and help people grow. I love the fact that this business really is almost like a personal development course designed, disguised as a business. There's a lot of things within this business. If you take it on, it's a challenge. It's not easy. This is not a get rich quick scheme by any stretch. it takes work, and it takes a lot of self-reflection, saying, okay, well, I'm struggling with this. Why am I not going farther? Why am I not going faster? Well, why am I having a difficult time having this conversation? There's a lot of personal hurdles that you may have to overcome, but you'll grow as a person, I promise, in this business. And it's pretty exciting to see that happen to the team members.
TK, you are sharing my story, brother. It's been an incredible journey for me. I am a very different person from 10 years ago when I was turning 40 and found Juice Plus because I ate no fruits and vegetables, and found this company because I needed that. And then I found the company, and I wasn't looking for a business, but the mission. And that's what I think a lot of guys miss. A lot of women really get it because they're so centered around the other person in front of them. And I think, the more we can become mission driven around helping people with their health, their finances, personal development, you do become a better person being a part of this community. It's a trip, but it is true. And that's maybe a scary thing for a lot of us guys, because I think we're so, driven to be the provider and be this. And when you talk about other franchises and things, with the Tower Garden, and I had a seedling business that we ran for 5.5 years. We shipped seedlings all over the country, speaking about the Tower Garden all over the world. And it was when I started actually focusing more on the mission, that's what took me to NMD, or National Marketing Director, not, focusing on a product or an item. And I sold my seedling business, and a really good friend of mine said, hey, and I sold my seedling business on purpose to have more time to do the things I wanted to do, and Juice Plus and all that. And I got sucked into helping a friend with his business. Happens to be cannabis business, which is legal in California. I never smoked cannabis or been a part of it, but I helped him germinate a bunch of seeds, and I wanted me to help him run 2 of his big, huge farms. And the amount of money that we've spent in the last 4 months, $250,000 of infrastructure, between licensing and fencing and dirt and nutrients and all these things we've had to buy. And TK, I mean, you could go on and on about your franchises and what they've cost, and leases. And, and Maria, my fiance, my love of my life, is doing a restaurant right now, her 5th restaurant, kind of on her own with her ex-husband's help. They created this franchise together, Los Arroyos Mexican food restaurants, 19 years ago. And she's now doing one of her own 4 miles from our house. And, $500,000 later, and we're paying 3 months of rent because the construction is taking longer. I mean, dude, it is stressful. Like, I don't know, $50, go talk to people, help people build their future. I don't know. It's like, it's pretty, but we have these stigmas around, we're supposed to be doing these other things. I don't know. It's interesting. So anyway, just kind of a side note on all that this business, I haven't done anything for my business except for be on this call for the last 2 months. My paycheck hasn't changed $1. It's actually gone up a little bit, which is remarkable to me that can happen. So before we're going to do a Q&A, which we'll turn the recording off for that, because we don't want people to feel like they're under pressure for questions to be recorded. But I want to be sure to explain a little bit about the products that make this all possible, especially for the people who are here for the first time, like I think Damien, checking this out. So Juice Plus, the cool thing is Juice Plus has a very narrow product line that can be used across an incredibly broad spectrum. That really is a great draw. So our first product, and the main product that's 25 years old, is the Juice Plus Trio. It's over 30 different raw, vine ripened whole foods. It's non-GMO, NSF certified to be pure. It's also the most researched nutritional support product in the world. It's important to understand the process that the fruit and vegetables go through to be encapsulated or to put into a chewable form. So first of all, our fruits, vegetables, and berries are completely vine ripened to the peak of ripeness, and then they remain attached to the plant right up until they're ready to be harvested. So they're then ground up in a whole environment. So, which is better than simply juicing, right? So juicing, you have the pulp that goes out one side and the juice that goes out the other, and you throw the pulp away and you drink the juice. Our fruits and vegetables are So we use the entire whole process, like including the peels, leaves, seeds, whenever possible, which provides much more nutrition. For example, up to 80% of the vitamin C in an orange is found in the peel. And people don't know that, right? We think vitamin C, we think eat an orange, drink orange juice. No, don't drink orange juice. Eat the orange. So I don't know about you, but I'm not eating orange peels very often. So you get like a small amount of vitamin C, right? So it's slowly dried at low temperatures, preserving the live nutrients, and then put into capsules and a chewable form. So Juice Plus is, as I said earlier, scientifically proven. Juice Plus is the most researched nutrition support product in the world with close to 40 published peer-reviewed medical journals. So a big deal is it's a food. It's classified as a food. It has a nutrition label, not a supplement label. So it's not a vitamin. It's the same label you'd see on a bag of frozen broccoli in the grocery store. So the government considers it food. No warning label, safe for all people, pregnant, nursing, mothers, children, elderly, and even professional athletes. So we also have the chocolate and vanilla complete. It's a vegan, gluten-free, whole food, protein, fiber, amino acids, fruits and vegetables in a shake. It's great as a quick breakfast, post-workout recovery, or a healthy snack. I mean, we also have this program called the Shred 10 that a lot of people like, and it's kind of taking it to the extreme, but a lot of people want that. So we also have the Juice Plus Omega Blend, which is the newest member of the family and has the potential to be most exciting. It's a plant-based omega, and it's a full spectrum omega. So really great what's happening with that new product. We also have complete bars, which are based on the same kind of formula as the protein complete, which is a whole food, completely balanced, really good fiber, protein, carbs, but all plant-based. And of course, last but not least, we have the Tower Gardens, which are an excellent way to help people grow their own food and add more whole foods to their diet. So now I want to open the floor to any questions you might have, whether it's about the business, the product. We're happy to answer whatever we can. If you found all of this compelling as I did way back when, please get with the person that invited you and find out how to get started.